From the WCCO television newsroom, this is a special update on the crash of a Northwest Airlines DC-9 tonight in Detroit, Michigan. Good evening, I'm Mike Walcher. It was just about 3.5 hours ago that a Northwest DC-9 exploded on takeoff from Detroit Metropolitan Airport. Flight 255 was on its way from Detroit to Phoenix and was not, we repeat, not going to stop here in the Twin Cities. The late word we have, a bulletin from the Associated Press that ran across the wires just about 3 minutes ago, says that no one survived on that flight. We understand there were 146 people on board the plane, 141 passengers and 5 crew members. An Associated Press bulletin that moved 3 minutes ago says no one survived. The plane went down in the northwest area of the airport, and we've been monitoring reports all night from Channel 2 WJBK in Detroit, and here is the latest from the scene.
Just a few minutes ago, they had a news conference here. Ed McNamara was in charge of it, and they released a statement. They said the black box from the plane has been found. They said there was debris spread out over half a mile, and the plane, in fact, broke up and went underneath I-94 and Middle Belt and spread out all the debris and the people for half a mile. Now, I'm going to basically go over the statement they released. This is the official statement from both the FAA and the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. At 8:45 this evening, they said a DC-9 Model 80D, which is basically a stretched DC-9, the way it was described by the FAA, Northwest Flight 255, bound for, as we've been saying, Phoenix from Detroit, came down in an area of Middle Belt and Wick Road, the northeast portion of the Metro Airport. Plane took off runway 3 center, northbound. It appeared to take off. When it took off, this is official, that a fire broke out on the aircraft. The plane touched down in the middle of Middle Belt and Wick, and fire and debris spread out throughout Middle Belt and the Garner area. That's the area north and westbound of I-94. Now, 141 passengers and 5 crew members were on board. This is official. At this time, they are confirming, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department and the FAA, that there were 3 individuals taken to Annapolis, Heritage, and Westland Medical Hospitals.
When I came here, there were a lot of gawkers over on Middle Belt Road. I mean, hundreds of people trying to get down to the crash site. They were sneaking through the woods to try to get a peek at what was down there. And I'm here to tell you, you don't want to see what is down there. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. It was like a scene out of Vietnam. There were bodies strewn around, burned bodies, parts of bodies, pieces of aircraft. It was a terrible, terrible thing to see. And the authorities were just trying to figure out, what to do, trying to secure the area. And I don't think they had any idea where some of the bodies were, and they still maybe don't. I'm told there were also some bodies scattered around near the along I-94. The authorities had the area completely blocked off. Up on the freeway, it was closed. All of the major surface streets around the crash scene were closed. But as I said, people were sneaking around and trying to get a glimpse of the crash scene.
Those reports recorded within the last few minutes from WJBK, the CBS affiliate in Detroit, Michigan. With me on the phone live now from Romulus, Michigan, is Jim Formella. He is a van driver at the Comfort Inn right across the street from where the plane crashed this evening. Jim, are you with me?
Yeah.
Jim, can you tell us what you saw this evening when the plane went down?
I was at the gas station just right across the street, getting ready to get gas. And I heard what I thought was thunder. And I just turned to my left, and I saw a big ball of flames. And I realized it was an airplane on fire. The wing had hit an Avis car rental building. And just right then, I jumped out of the van and started running because I was in the gas station. And it was just a little crazy.
Jim, can you tell us, did the plane appear to be on fire before it crashed?
Yes, it was.
Was it the left wing?
I'm not sure which one it was.
Did the plane appear to be dipping? We have reports that the wings were dipping back and forth.
Yeah.
You can
Yes,
confirm that? Yes. What was the scene after it crashed? What sort of a fireball went up?
Well, there was fire everywhere. The Avis car rental building was on fire. A few of the rental cars were on fire. They were exploding. The airplane had hit, from what I hear, two cars that were on the road. I guess one of them had exploded. And there was just, fire and smoke everywhere.
And Jim, did people go to the scene, or were they driven away by the flames?
They were driven away. A lot of people were just running everywhere, really scared.
Can you tell us briefly what is the scene there now? Are people in shock, or are there people looking for relatives there, or what?
Yeah, they're looking for relatives and friends. They're calling around because we get a lot of Northwest crews that stay here, and they're calling around trying to see if any friends were on that flight.
Can you tell us how high the plane was at its maximum before it began going down?
From when I saw it, it was appeared to be about maybe 60 feet.
Only 60 feet. All right, thank you. Thank you for talking with us, Jim Formella. He is a van driver at the Comfort Inn in Romulus, Michigan, right across the street from where the DC-9, Northwest DC-9, went down earlier this evening. Right now, Caroline Lowe is standing by at Northwest Corporate Headquarters in suburban Eagan. And Caroline, fill us in on what you have from there.
Well, Mike, we actually have very little information to add to what you've already reported. Red Tyler, a spokesman for Northwest Airlines, came out just moments ago, told us there really won't be any more information until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. The staff here is working through the night, attempting to notify people, relatives of people on the flight, including the 6 members of the crew and the 141 passengers. We have no idea at this point whether or not any of those passengers or the crew members are here from the Twin Cities area. They have been swamped with calls from people who think they may know somebody who was on that flight, the flight which originated in Saginaw in Michigan. It was en route to Phoenix and Orange County. As I said, they're working through the night to attempt to notify relatives of the passengers and the crew. We have very few additional details. Probably won't have anything until about 7 tomorrow morning.
All
Mike?
right. Okay, thank you very much, Caroline. A couple of other notes that we can pass along. We understand that from the wire services that the National Transportation Safety Board investigators have been dispatched to the scene from Chicago and from Washington, D.C., and according to WJBK, the black box, the flight recorder from Flight 255 of Northwest Airlines, has been recovered by authorities in Romulus, Michigan. But repeating again the word we have from Associated Press a few moments ago, there apparently are no survivors in the crash of the Northwest Airlines Flight 255 shortly after takeoff from Detroit's airport. This appears to be the worst air disaster in this country in 1987. That's our news bulletin on the crash of Northwest Airlines Flight 255 at Detroit. Stay tuned to Channel 4 for any further developments later tonight and on our newscast tomorrow morning and throughout the day. Good evening.